Midweek in America, a little lighthearted fodder for today's show because I think the news is about to get really, really serious from here on out with what Trump has been teasing for his address to the nation tomorrow night. But before that happens, you can call it filler if you want, but I just absolutely, completely, totally am in love with this story. Any chance I get to make fun of CNBC or a completely fraudulent, bogus response list that they come out with that's golden to me. And here's what it is. We'll start with the latest first. CNBC has come out with a list of the worst states to live in. Your first question should be this, and I know it is because I know what you're thinking. The hell do they know? What are they ranking this on? You can just imagine. But you got to get to what caused this kind of response from CNBC to come out with a worst states list. Here's the big takeaway, and this is what it's all about. We should all be thankful. You can guess without even hearing what the list is, what they call the worst states, right? They're all leaning conservative. They're all the states that people are flocking to and businesses flocking to. And, of course, there's always a political swampy story to this, too. They have to counter. These are all the states that Trump won. So, of course, they have to call it the worst states. This is what we should be thankful for. We should all be thankful that they're calling these the worst states, because if you're in one of these states we're about to get to here in a second, you should say, yes, don't come here. Don't do it. And I can tell you as an adopted Floridian or a guy that's adopted Florida as my home state now, we're all calling for this the same thing. It's awesome here, so we want everybody else to hate it. We're full. We want a sign put up at the Florida-Georgia border saying, no more. We're done. We're full. No more. And tell everybody in the media and everybody else that has gone lefty-loony, don't come here. Don't vote here. Don't escape the blue states. Come here, like a state like mine and many others, and ruin this one too because we love it. Anyway, we'll get to it. It's all coming from CNBC. Thanks for finding me in the Wicked Radio live stream and replay on X, YouTube, Facebook, clips on all of those networks as well as TikTok too, and the complete audio podcast, wherever you like to get those. Let's get it. Now, the best breakdown from this came from Laura Ingraham. I'm not the biggest Laura Ingraham fan, to be honest with you, but she did a great job in breaking this down in a couple of different parts. So here's what kicked this whole thing off. There was an independent survey, because these kinds of things are important. So they surveyed, I believe it was 650 CEOs, major companies, the movers and the shakers, the people that provide jobs, the people that invest in communities, and they do. Even if you're anti-business, you have to admit you want these businesses in your community. And they asked them, what are the best states? What are the best states for business, right? Where money's going, where people are going, where opportunities are, where jobs are. And let's get something straight. We've always been a country, even if you've got people who have lived and your family's been in one particular state for generations, we've always been a country of people moving to where the opportunity is. That's just part of the American grit and spirit. I mean, look at how we developed the West. People just kept on going until they found land, right? Or found some opportunity. So let's go to the first part of our little tale here, and this is what CNBC had to counter because they said, "Uh-oh." Here's Laura Ingraham breaking down what the CEOs said and what's the best place to do business.
The top 10, including Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, are Republican. They're run by Republicans, except Virginia, which is at number 10, and North Carolina, kind of a purple state, at number 5. So money and people, resources, are pouring into red states. So how do the social...
Okay, so there you have it. And Virginia was a little weird there, but I think that's because the taxes are ridiculous, the restrictions and the regulation is ridiculous. I think the CEOs said Virginia is great for business because of possibly military contracts. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason for it. But regardless, the main takeaway is all of those states are great for business, according to America's CEOs, and that's a lot of them when you survey 650 of them. Those are the great places to go. That's where opportunity is what they're saying. So, CNBC, and basically, yes, there is a political element here, because this is all about the midterms. The Democrats said, uh-oh, this is out there. Because this business survey, even before CNBC's response, was getting a lot of traction. A lot of people were looking at this saying, wow, it's getting a lot of attention. Because what did it tell you? It tells you that the population of the country is changing. I wish they were doing the census now because it would be completely different. And yes, I know everybody blames things on COVID. That had a big part to do with this whole thing. Have you ever seen the big survey, the real important one about the U-Haul trucks? They're hard to find in states like California, Michigan, Illinois, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, because they're all going to states where you can find U-Haul trucks, where people are moving to. Many of those states, Laura Ingraham just mentioned right there, the same exact states. Isn't that funny? That the nation's CEOs said are the best places for business. Well, if they're good for business, they're good for opportunity and people and families and different values. This whole country is changing. And guess who knows that? The political power players. So what they did was let's face it, they're running these networks. So they said, we got to counter this somehow. Let's see, this is a business story. This is what we do. We go to CNBC and we make them come out with a survey and a story about the worst states to live in. Well, isn't it funny? Take one guess which these states are. Most of them are the ones that were just listed as the best states for business. Isn't that funny? Here's what she said. Let's go to now CNBC's counter to this. We can't have people believing that these states that are gaining power right ahead of the midterms, we can't have them believe in that. So here was the response from CNBC.
Report just comes out. They listed the 10 worst states to live in for 2026. All the states on this list, okay, Trump won. Every state except Georgia in 2020. And the list included 4 of the top 10 states for business. How does that make any sense? Well, they had kind of a weird calculus there, but this is obviously a blatant effort to dismiss and denigrate more conservative states.
I think she's right, but I think it's more than that. With all these states that they put on for the worst states list, they got to get people out of there, as if they think they have that kind of power. But they have to counter that narrative somehow, right? It's not just these states the best for business they have to counter. These are the states where people are going to. Hear what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm throwing down. They're leaving population-wise. People are leaving those deep blue states and they're going to what you would consider the red or purple ones. That means those states have more power. That means those states, when they do count the population, if they do it correctly, are going to have more representation in Congress. They're going to have more House seats. That's why they're trying to keep people out of there. So again, what are the worst states? Where are they? Well, the worst states, again, you saw the list there, but according to CNBC, Tennessee, Texas, Indiana, Louisiana, Georgia, Utah, Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. All the people in this state, all of these states would say, good. Tell the rest of the country that we're a terrible place to live. We don't want you coming here anymore. We're full. But the fact of the matter is you can't stop people from coming there. I am shocked that CNBC actually, and I'm upset about this, they actually missed a big one, like I said, Florida. I can't believe they didn't put Florida in one of the worst states to live in, because Florida is gaining in power and popularity and infrastructure and everything else. But again, we're full, so don't worry about that. Now let's get to the methodology. How do you possibly justify this? How does CNBC come out and justify exactly what this is all about, the methodology and put things in? Here's their scoring, exactly what you can imagine. Was it based on, crime data, infrastructure, job? No, none of that stuff. It was based on CNBC Democrat type stuff. That's what it was. Quality of life scoring, according to them. Here you go. Ready? Inclusiveness. Reproductive rights. Voting rights framing. Not just voting rights, but voting rights framing. Isn't that interesting? Okay. And the numbers tell a different story, obviously. What's the reproductive right? So it's not about, the best state to live in isn't your housing price, if you can afford a house, if you can build a family, if you can build a business, you can create things. No, it's about reproductive rights, which are important. But that's what they based all this on? This is panic. This is a panic response from a panicked media and a panicked network, and why they come up with something like this. And again, if you look at a compiled list of states that somebody like CNBC comes up with, and they come up with the worst states list, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to move to. And people are moving in droves. The complete population of this country is changing, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing in a lot of different ways. Now, there's a lot of people that will tell you that we're becoming so polarized. We're becoming more divided. Blue states and red states and all this other. Well, yeah, that actually is true. It's not the first time it's happened in this country, and it's not like. And these are big generalities. And these are generalizations. Can you build a business? Can you thrive? Can you prosper in a blue state, in a blue city in New York? Of course you can. In New York and New Jersey and Michigan and California, of course you can. But it's a lot tougher. There's a lot of people are realizing that, and they're getting the hell out of there. And that's okay. That's the great thing about our country is you have these kinds of choices. You're not locked in. Not the easiest thing in the world is to pick up sticks and move a family or a business or anything and go to a different state, but a lot of us have done it, that's for sure. You have that opportunity to do it. That's one of the great things about the United States and how we work. If you want to go to the mountains, you can move to a mountain state. Or you want to build a business somewhere where the laws are a lot better, where you can do that. Sure, you can. You have the opportunity to do so. That's what the great thing is. But here's something even better. That's what people are doing. A restrictive state, a crazy state, the crime is horrific. Listen to the CEOs. They know. Go to where the money is. It's the oldest saying in the world. Follow the money. Not just in following up a crime and finding out who's guilty. Follow the money where opportunity is. Because if CEOs are telling you these states are where the opportunities are and these are the best states to start a business, and then CNN counters that with saying, but those are the worst states to live in, you know who to believe. Ridiculous. All right, thanks for hanging out with me. Short one today, but I think it was nice little midweek fodder, something to laugh at. As this, by the way, this survey is getting mocked by every other media outlet in the world because CNBC, and CNN is just so ridiculous. Thanks for finding me. Appreciate your replay on X and YouTube and Facebook. Now, you audio podcast listeners, I love you and appreciate you. Wherever you like to find the audio podcast and the complete episode, whatever platform you like, you'll find Wicked Radio with me on there too, and a lot of you have. So audio listening still lives, and I appreciate you so much. Big one coming up tomorrow. This is a little preview of what's happening, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to preview what the heck it is that President Trump is teasing about this big address to the nation tomorrow night. That would be Thursday night. It's about 2020, and it's about him coming out and saying the election was stolen. So we'll preview what we think is going to be in that one. That's coming up tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me. In the meantime, make it a wicked awesome Wednesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.